The 8 levels of quiet wealth. Level 1, the invisible shift. It is 6:14 a.m. on a Sunday. The sky is the color of wet asphalt. You do not wake up to an alarm. You wake up to a calculation. You have $42 in your checking account and a half-empty tank of gas in a car that makes a clicking noise when you turn left. Sunday does not mean rest at this level. Sunday means inventory. You sit at the edge of your mattress and open your banking app. You look at the number. The number looks back. You run the logistics of the next 14 hours in your head. Groceries or laundry. You cannot do both. $6 in quarters for the machines down the street means you put the eggs back at the register. You walk to the laundromat carrying a plastic bag with a broken handle. You watch the dryer spin for 45 minutes. You do not look at the other people in the room. They are doing the same math you are doing. Nobody speaks. The silence at this level is not peaceful. It is defensive. You are running a continuous risk assessment just to keep the lights on until Tuesday. Your phone buzzes at 2:30 p.m. It is your manager. Someone called out for the evening shift. The extra pay is $52 before taxes. Your plans for the afternoon disappear instantly. You say yes because you always say yes. You spend your Sunday evening counting boxes in a warehouse that smells like cardboard and cold grease. You get home at midnight. Your shoulders feel heavy. You do not feel angry. You just feel tired. The first rule, at level 1, Sunday is not a day of the week. It is a financial penalty you pay for surviving the other 6. Level 2, the maintenance trap. You make $38,000 a year now. You have an apartment with a door that locks and a kitchen where the refrigerator does not hum. You sleep until 8 a.m. This feels like luxury for exactly 20 minutes. Then you remember the list. Sunday at level 2 is called deferred maintenance. It is the day you catch up on the things you couldn't afford to look at Monday through Saturday. The bathroom faucet has been leaking since Wednesday. You do not call a plumber. A plumber costs $120 just to walk through the front door. You watch a YouTube video and spend 2 hours under the sink with an old wrench and a towel. Your knuckles bleed once. You wipe the blood on your jeans and keep turning the metal. You fix it. Nobody claps. You check your account. You have $840 left until the end of the month. You fill the gas tank all the way to the top. Watching the pump click shut on a full tank gives you a small, strange hit of dopamine that someone at a higher level would never understand. But the tightness is still there. It just moved from your chest to your neck. You spend the afternoon folding clothes and staring out the window at the parking lot. You see your neighbor loading a new television into his trunk. You feel a sudden, sharp pinch of awareness. You are one bad tire or one missed shift away from level 1. You close the blinds. You turn on the television to drown out the sound of your own thoughts. The second rule, at level 2, Sunday is a temporary truce between you and your bills. Level 3, the average baseline. Combined household income is $85,000. You live in a clean subdivision where the trees are all the same height. You have a 401k you don't look at and a credit card you pay down to 0 most months. You wake up at 7:30 a.m. You make coffee in a pot that sets a timer. Sunday runs on automatic tracks. Soccer practice at 9 o'clock, the warehouse club at 11:30, meal prep at 3 p.m. You spend $240 on groceries without using a calculator. That used to feel like an achievement. Now it just feels like routine. You load the back of the mid-size SUV with plastic tubs of spinach and bulk chicken breasts. You drive home listening to a podcast about productivity. The afternoon is yours. The lawn is cut. The house is clean. The sun hits the kitchen island at a perfect 45-degree angle. You sit down with a glass of water and tell yourself you have arrived. Then the mood shifts. It happens every Sunday at precisely 4 p.m. The air in the house gets heavier. Your partner gets quiet in the living room. You open your laptop to check your calendar for Monday morning, even though you promised you wouldn't. The kids start arguing downstairs. The rooms feel smaller. You are not dreading your job. You like your job. But the week has a gravitational pull that you cannot escape. You spend the last 3 hours of your weekend surrendering it to the schedule of the following morning. The third rule, at level 3, you buy back your weekend with your salary and give it back to your employer by Sunday afternoon. Level 4, the quiet. You make $180,000 a year in tech management or specialized medical consulting. You have a financial advisor named Greg who emails you spreadsheets with blue headers. You sleep until 9 a.m., no alarm. The house is 3,200 square feet. There is a room upstairs that you only enter to dust. You drink coffee from a grinder that costs more than your first car payment. The silence in the house is different here. It is structural. It is the result of double-pane glass, high-end insulation, and a neighborhood where nobody revs an engine at dawn. You use the stationary bike in the corner for 40 minutes. You do not check your phone. You take a walk through the neighborhood at noon. You see the people from level 3 cutting their grass. You feel a distance that is not malicious, just factual. Your kids go to a school that requires an application. There is a parent group chat that is supposedly about a bake sale but is actually about positioning. Someone asks for a $500 donation for a new theater curtain. You send it via an app while standing on your deck. You do not feel generous. You do not feel resentful. It is just the subscription fee for the table you sit at. You spend the evening planning a trip to Italy for July. The flights are $4,200. You click purchase without checking your liquid balance. The luxury is not the trip. The luxury is the total absence of arithmetic in your kitchen. The fourth rule, at level 4, money stops being a vocal argument and becomes the quiet background noise of your life. Level 5, the boundary level. Your net worth crosses $3.5 million. You are no longer trading your weeks for a bi-weekly deposit. You own assets that move independent of your presence. Sunday morning starts at 7 a.m. because your body forgets how to sleep past it. The view from your window is 12 acres of woods in North Carolina, or an unobstructed view of the canyon in Austin. The property has a gate. The gate is not for status. The gate is because you have realized that people who know your balance will begin to bring you their problems. Your brother calls you at 10:30 a.m. from Ohio. He talks about his business for 20 minutes before he mentions his transmission. It is $3,400. You wire him $5,000 before you hang up. You do not tell your spouse. You do not add it to a spreadsheet. You just clear the problem from your terminal so you can go back to your morning. You spend 2 hours reading a historical biography on the porch. Your phone does not ring. The CPA handles the estimated quarterly taxes. The property manager handles the water leak at the commercial building downtown. You have removed the small daily abrasions that define the lower levels. This creates a cognitive silence that is almost heavy. Your mind has more room than you are used to having. That room fills with strategy instead of survival. You look at the woods and calculate demographic shifts over the next 10 years. The fifth rule, at level 5, Sunday is the day you realize that absolute privacy is the only thing money buys that is actually worth the price. Level 6, the performance tier. Net worth is $18 million. Sunday changes texture. You are in Aspen or the Hamptons because your calendar dictated you be there 4 months ago. You wake up in a house you do not manage. A local service cleaned the glass before you arrived. Your personal assistant sends a message at 8:15 a.m. It is your weekly briefing. You have 2 charity boards on Tuesday, a dinner with an institutional investment team on Thursday, and a private auction on Saturday. Sunday afternoon is a social obligation disguised as leisure. You attend a luncheon at a winery. You wear clothes that have no logos, but cost more than a level 2 worker earns in a quarter. You sit across from a man who owns 6 manufacturing plants in Germany. You talk about logistics. You do not mention wealth. Wealth is the floor of the room. You do not discuss the floor while standing on it. You take a photograph with a local politician for a charity foundation. You do not care about the charity. Your family office selected it because it provides a specific tax offset for the liquidation of your logistics shares this quarter. You look at the people around you. Every smile is professional. Every conversation has a return on investment running underneath it. You drive back to the property in the evening. You look out the glass at the mountains. You try to remember a Sunday when nobody knew where you were sitting. You cannot find one in your memory. The 6th rule, at level 6, your time no longer belongs to your freedom. It belongs to the management of your reputation. Level 7, the bespoke reality. Your balance sheet shows $65 million. The institutions that used to put you on a phone tree now organize dinners in your honor. You spend your Sunday morning in an apartment overlooking Central Park. The room is pre-cooled to 68 degrees before your feet hit the floor. A private chef prepares breakfast. You do not see him. The food appears on a marble surface while you are in the shower. Your investment committee sends a memo at 10 a.m. regarding a private equity secondary market buy-in. The minimum allocation is $5 million. You call your managing partner. You talk for 5 minutes. The terms are drafted for your specific tax timeline. You don't sign a menu of options. You dictate the options. In the afternoon, you walk through a museum that closed 2 hours early for a private viewing of a collection you are considering financing. The gallery is empty except for you and a curator who speaks in a low, reverent whisper. The art is beautiful, but you are looking at the provenance documents. You are checking the stability of the asset across currency fluctuations. You leave through a side door where a car is waiting. The driver knows your name without looking at a sheet. You look at the city below you as the car crosses the bridge. The people on the sidewalks are moving between transit lines. They look small from this altitude. You feel a complete, permanent separation from the mechanics of ordinary human struggle. You have sanded down every edge of reality until it is perfectly smooth. The seventh rule, at level 7, you do not live in a country. You live inside an architecture built entirely to ensure you never have to wait. Level 8, the abstract horizon. The number is above $200 million. It has lost all connection to currency. It is no longer a bank account. It is a structural force. It is a line item in a regional development budget, a foundation that funds 24 research labs, a stake in an infrastructure project that will take 30 years to finish. It is Sunday morning at 7:14 a.m. in Malibu. The house is constructed from single slabs of gray concrete and glass that face the ocean. 2 security personnel sit in a vehicle at the edge of the driveway. They have been there since Tuesday. The chef leaves a green juice on the table and disappears without making a sound. You sit alone on the terrace. Your phone is face down. It does not have notifications because nobody has the direct line except your daughter and your chief of staff. Your daughter is 24. She lives in Chicago. She called you on Friday night just to tell you about a book she read. She didn't ask for money. She didn't need an allocation. She just wanted to talk to her father. You spoke for 6 minutes before your chief of staff interrupted with an urgent call regarding a regulatory shift in London. You told your daughter you would call her back on Saturday. Saturday came and went. Now it is Sunday morning. You look at the phone. You want to pick it up. You hesitate. You realize that even her voice is something you have to calculate against the momentum of the machine you built. You look up at the sky. A red-tailed hawk is circling the canyon. It moves without effort. It doesn't have a portfolio. It doesn't have a tier. It has been up there for 15 minutes. For those 15 minutes, you are not in net worth. You are not an asset class. You are just a man watching a bird in the quiet morning before the world starts moving. It is the only part of your weekend that you will remember by Tuesday. The 8th rule, at the final level, money deletes every problem except the distance it creates between you and the few things that cannot be bought.